Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to you all for our 28th Memorial Day here at the Donkey Sanctuary at Slade House Farm. For those of you who haven't met me yet, my name is MARIANNE STEELE, and I'm the Acting Chief Executive of the Donkey Sanctuary. It's a great honour to be able to share with you this special occasion today. It's wonderful to be able to speak to you from our Sidmouth Sanctuary following a lengthy period of lockdown. Although our resolve was thoroughly tested by the separation we felt from our loved ones and the cloud of uncertainty the pandemic created, we've all come out of the other side stronger and more connected than ever. Before I begin, I say on behalf of everyone here at the Donkey Sanctuary that we're all deeply saddened to hear the news of the passing of Her Majesty the Queen. For many, the Queen has been a reassuring symbol of certainty and constancy through their lifetime, a constant presence in a changing world. She was a lifelong supporter of charitable endeavour of all kinds, with a deep and abiding love for equines in particular. The Queen lived a full life of unwavering dedication and service, and she was a friend to all those who served their own communities and causes with similar commitment and care, communities very like our own. I'm sure you will join me in offering the royal family and household our deepest condolences. We will share details of more formal memorial arrangements here at the Donkey Sanctuary as they unfold, including thoughts on how we can remember Her Majesty. But today is a day of reflection and to pay tribute to the parents, husbands, wives, partners, grandparents and loved ones who we've all lost. Your dedications and plaques, which are decorated with flowers, now adorn our walkways across the sanctuary, and they look truly beautiful. Like you, I find the Donkey Sanctuary a deeply special place. Memories resonate through every garden and green space, and as the colder weather starts to creep in here with the arrival of autumn, it warms my heart to know so many treasured memories were made here, with many more hopefully to come. The connection between your loved ones and our donkeys has been truly extraordinary. It's thanks to supporters like you who help us to change the world for more donkeys and mules in need everywhere that we can continue to make such a lasting impact. Sadly, we've had to bid farewell to a number of much-loved supporters and staff members over the last 12 months. Nikki Hart was one such person, a devoted member of our farms team with more than 20 years of dedicated service. Nikki encapsulated the passion which drives our important work across the world. She was a tenacious and respected member of the donkey care team at our Woods Farm site in Devon, and the love she provided for her long-eared herds was returned in spades. She will be very sorely missed. We also said goodbye to Jill Cook, an enthusiastic member of our family for more than 3 decades and a very dedicated donkey weeker. Jill was a well-known face at our Slade House Farm site, having volunteered there for more than 11 years. She was extremely active in the role here and also assisted our Birmingham Donkey Assisted Therapy team at their fairs, helping to raise significant funds for the charity. We're so proud to have known Jill, and her memory will live a long time here at the Sanctuary. Lastly, I'd like to pay a special tribute to June Evers, a lifelong friend of our beloved founder, Dr. Elisabeth Svendsen. June and Dr. Svendsen met each other in nursery and remained firm friends throughout their lives. June was closely involved with the charity, acting as a trustee for many years and carrying out important work here. She would take photographs for the newsletters and various events and use the skills she had gained in her previous career as a radiographer to assist with any pregnant mares that arrived in the sanctuary. June passed away in October last year, aged 91. We know that many people across the sanctuary will remember her, and her impact here will never be forgotten. I'd also like to take this opportunity to pay a special thanks to the Reverend Stephen Knight, who's been our chaplain for almost 10 years. Stephen has shown commitment and passion to the charity and demonstrated admirable flexibility when the pandemic led to staging our events virtually. Stephen has been a focal point and a friend to many of our supporters throughout the years, leading on Memorial Day, carols by candlelight, and our Sunday Donkey Week service each year. We thank you for everything you've done. I know I speak for all when I say it is appreciated and valued. And now I'd like to pass you on to Celebrant Emma Britton.
Welcome everyone, my name is Emma. I am a celebrant and a huge donkey fan, as I'm sure you all are too. Today is about remembrance, remembering those loved ones, both human and animal, that are no longer with us. Many whose names are inscribed on plaques, memory walls and boards around the sanctuary. It is not possible for any person or animal that we love to stay with us forever. Such is the circle of life. However, we can use the many fond memories we have of them to bring us comfort and to remind us what a difference they made to our lives. To remember is to keep those memories alive in our hearts and minds. Although loss is difficult and sad, it is far better to focus on the joy those we loved brought to our lives rather than their loss. To celebrate a life is a wonderful way of commemorating what they meant to us. The past few years have been so difficult for everyone. It is also fair to say that the impact of the pandemic is still being felt by many, and we think of those today too. During the pandemic, you continued to remain connected virtually to the sanctuary, and that was so important to us. Thank you to everyone who joined our events online and checked in on the donkeys via the webcams and continue to do so. However, to be back together in person is such a wonderful feeling. I remember my first visit back to the sanctuary after the pandemic. I just couldn't wait to see the donkeys and to spend time in their warm and gentle company. No doubt indeed that the donkeys were very glad to see you all back too. They missed those ear rubs and back scratches. On Memorial Day, let us take a few moments to remember those who make or have made a difference. We give our grateful and heartfelt thanks to all the staff and volunteers, past and present, at the Donkey Sanctuary for their care, time and love shown to the donkeys. All the visitors, past and present, to the Donkey Sanctuary who support the charity in all aspects of its very important work. All the donkeys, animals and pets, past and present, who bring such love and joy to our lives. All those past and present who supported us through the pandemic, our key workers, our families and our friends. Let us take a moment to think of those, both human and animal, that we have lost and what they meant to us, how they made a difference to our lives and how they will never be forgotten. If you have a faith, you may wish to use this time for personal prayer. Let's be quiet, be calm, and reflect in our own thoughts. Today on Memorial Day, we think of our adoption donkeys, Hannah and Millie, who are no longer with us and who are so very much missed. And we welcome with love and excitement our new adoption donkeys. Felicity, Marco, Percy, Rickon, Tat, Theo, Tornado and Drizzle. And now, a blessing for everyone gathered here at Slade Farm in person or joining us from a distance all around the world online. May we know that the love we shared with those we've lost remains. May we know that their spirit lives on around us. May we know that they are resting in peace. May we know and appreciate that life is fragile and precious. May we value every moment and make memories while we can. and may we know that life is a gift wrapped up in love. It has been a privilege to be with you all this morning, and for those of you here at the sanctuary in person, I look forward to meeting you all and hearing about your loved ones that you are remembering today. The plaques and memory boards all around the sanctuary are cherished, and we will be thinking of all those whose names sit alongside our donkeys every day in this special place. Never be afraid to talk about those that have gone before us, to share the stories of them and to say their names. That way, their memory lives on.
Making the world much better. I'm asking a question here today. Do you believe there is a way that we, each one, can make a change, some cruel things can rearrange to make our lives much better? Do you believe we have a chance, each one of us, to give a glance at things we see and do not like, be brave enough to stand and fight to make our world much better? Each one of us has lost a friend, a loved one on whom we could depend. It could be husband, pet, or wife, left us for another life. We pray their world is better. Let us quietly pray for those we mourn. They'll never see another dawn, remembering all their little ways and all those wonderful happy days which make our world much better. But there's a chance to make your mark. Stand up for those who bray and bark. Defend those with no voice to speak. Protect our animals, poor and weak, to make their world much better.
Feel no guilt in laughter. They'd know how much you care. Feel no sorrow in a smile that they are not here to share. You cannot grieve forever. They would not want you to. They'd hope that you could carry on the way you always do. So talk about the good times and the way you showed you cared, the days you spent together, all the happiness you shared. Let memories surround you. A word someone may say will suddenly recapture a time, an hour, a day that brings them back as clearly as though they were still here, and fills you with the feeling that they are always near. For if you keep those moments, you will never be apart, and they will live forever, locked safely within your heart.
Please, by Callum, Lawton. Please, my love, don't shed a tear. You may miss me, but I'm always near. I'm there on days when the world seems bleak. Take your time. Heartbreak can't heal in a week. Please, my dear, try and be strong. I'll wait for you, however long. I'm in no rush. I've got all day, and night and year, and who's to say? Please, my angel, it will get better, even though your cheeks get wetter. This is only grief doing what grief does best, saddling itself upon your chest. Please, mon amour, remember the good, paths we trod in moments we stood. We've shaped this world in our own way. It's a shame I wasn't able to stay. Please, for me, try and move on. You should know I'm never really gone. I found a new home deep in your heart. It's cozy in here, and I have no plans to depart. Please be kind to yourself, for wounds heal with time. There is no mental mountain you cannot climb. And when you're feeling down, know this is true. I unquestionably and always will love you.
Memorial Day is all about remembering our loved ones, and that includes our animals. And unfortunately, here at the Donkey Sanctuary, recently we've lost our adoption donkey Hannah and our adoption mule Millie. Millie is one of our adoption mules, and she lived in shelter 6 with Jump and D'Artagnan, one of our Poitou donkeys. Millie was a really friendly mule who we'd had a long time, and before she came and lived here, she was very good at doing tricks. She was able to stand up on a box and she could lift her front legs up. She really enjoyed interacting with everybody, the staff, the public, and the other mules and donkeys. Due to Millie's age, she was starting to struggle with arthritis. She was feeling it in her legs, and when she liked to lie down a lot and when she went to get up, she was finding it quite difficult. She also suffered with something called laminitis, which is where they get lots of pain in their feet due to high sugars in the grass and insulin and different hormones going around the body. So Millie really was struggling. We managed to keep her nice and comfortable on medication and thought that she was improving, but things did take a turn for the worse. So unfortunately, we did lose Millie. Since then, we've made sure Jump is doing really well with extra feeds and lots more attention, but we do spend time to think about Millie. One of our other donkeys, who unfortunately we've just lost, is Hannah. So Hannah lived up in Shelter 1 with her friends Drizzle and Coco. She's a really beautiful bright grey donkey who we had for a lot of years and was very friendly. She was doing really, really well and we were very pleased with her. But unfortunately, one lunchtime, she just went really downhill and the grooms noticed that she wasn't herself, so she didn't want to eat and she didn't want to come and interact with them. So with donkeys, if they're dull and they're not eating, that's a real emergency, so we can't hang around. So we had a good look at Hannah, we checked her over, we noticed that she had a really, really high heart rate, so that meant that she was painful or something untoward was going on in her body. So we thought, well, this isn't very good. We gave her lots of medication to try and make her feel better, but unfortunately it just didn't help. And we lost her because of colic, which is basically she had lots of food and lots of things that shouldn't be all impacted in her intestines. So it was very, very sad, but she was really lovely and we're making sure that all of her friends are well looked after with some extra feeds and they seem to be doing really well.
Welcome to Memorial Day 2022. Really glad to have you back once again. As you can see, I'm here with our dear donkeys and this is Julius with me. We've had an exceptional summer. It's been really hot, a bit of lack of grass, but the donkeys have done really well. As you can see, they've got beautiful coats. They've molted really well this year because the climate we have is suitable for donkeys. What we are trying to do is look at how we're looking after the donkeys here at Slade. And for those of you that have visited will know that we've got a lot of small groups, very independent for their needs and their welfare and their management. We've got some donkeys on straw bedding, we've got some donkeys on shavings bedding. So it means we can move them around their farm for their needs. So a nice, fit, healthy donkey would be found in New Barn, which you can see on our webcam. These donkeys have freedom to roam. They can roam around the valley and they can choose what they want to eat, when they want to eat, when they want to come back to the barn. So again, they're very lucky. If, however, then they find that's a bit too much for them and a lot of walking, which a few do, and our dear Ruby, our adoption donkey, was one of those. So she's now moved to Shelter 1. So that's a smaller area with flatter land, same bedding as usual. If, however, then the donkeys get any breathing problems or they get a bit arthritic, we might move them to our sites at Shelter 2 or Shelter 3. And they've got some lovely deep shavings beds, so a bit different but easier for them to get to. So again, you can see that we are really catering for their needs and their welfare. We've got our dear vet Polly, who is looking after our donkeys all through the year with many things to come and see. Some donkeys have eye problems, which you'll see when you also visit. And this summer more so, we've had a lot of donkeys with fly masks on. And that's to protect their eyes from the UV light, because as you can imagine, it's been very bright. We really could do with a bit of rain, so I think there's some on the way next week. But hopefully your Memorial Day is dry and you can enjoy the sight. We've got all the garden looking amazing. The gardeners have done a fantastic job. The Chelsea Flower Show garden is in full bloom and we're still free to come in, so do come and see us. I'm around, the team are around, and we're around all week if you want to come and see any specific donkeys. But like I say, we're doing really well. We've had a lovely summer, we've had lots of visitors. We've had lots of supporters, and we've also done our new adoption launch for the donkeys. So, as you can see all around me, the donkeys are so happy and well looked after. So have a lovely day and take care from all of us here at the Donkey Sanctuary.
Thank you for joining us at today's service. We very much hope to see you again at next year's service. And a big thank you for your continued support. Until next time, from all of us at the Donkey Sanctuary, goodbye.